We are working on GMetrix Core Skill Review 1. Task 1 asks us to go ahead and use the Find and Select tool to find a cell with conditional formatting. And then we're going to apply a thick outside border. So we're on the Home tab here in the editing group. We'll go ahead and click the drop down for Find and Select and click Conditional Formatting. From here, we'll want to go to the Font group and then just select Thick Outside Borders. Task 2 asks us to go ahead and use the Auto Sum tool to get the sum of each column. So there are a few ways to do this. You could manually hand key in the sum formula. We could hit the Insert Function button, or on the Home tab here in the editing group, we can use the Auto Sum feature. We'll hit Enter to set our cell. And then what we want to do is just use the drag fill. Notice how my cursor went to a black cross. Task 3 asks us to go ahead and use the concatenate function. So it tells us to put our cursor here in J4. We'll go ahead and use the insert function builder for this because we're going to have to use quotations. And if we use the insert function builder, we won't have to add that extra punctuation. So the first cell for text 1 is going to be B4. I'm going to hit Tab, and it tells us that there needs to be a space in between. So I'm just going to hit space on my space bar and hit Tab. Notice again the quotation marks there. And then we want to select A4. Task 4 asks us to go ahead and add a comment. So we'll go ahead and select J4. And what we want to do is go to the Review tab, click New Comment, and we'll type in full name. We'll click outside of the comment. Task 5 asks us to go ahead and use the autofill to extend the series in A4 to A33. So I've selected the cell. Notice how when I put my cursor here, it turns into a black cross. I just want to click and drag down to A33. Task 6 asks us to go ahead and apply a table style to cells A3 to D34. So I've gone ahead and selected my range, and we're on the Home tab here in the Styles group, and what we want to do is just find, it's a light table style, so let's try here. Nope. If you're not sure, hover, and you'll be able to find it. It's just verifying the range we selected. We'll click OK. Task 7 asks us to apply a hyperlink to our title here. So we want to select that cell if it's not already selected. Go to the Insert tab here at the top. What we want to do is select hyperlink in the links group. And all we need to do is type in www.fusiontomo.com. Task 8 asks us to go ahead and just change some of the cell formatting. So we'll go ahead and select B16 to F16. And then we want to change this to currency. We want to change our font to Courier New. And we want the fill color, which is this one right here, the paint bucket, to yellow. And it's a standard yellow. Task 9 asks us to go ahead and be on the product worksheet. What we want to do is change the formatting for B8 to E33 to have no decimal places showing. So you could just click this number dialog box and go through that, or you can just click this, the decrease on this, the decrease decimal, and you notice how they went away. Task 10 asks us to go ahead and apply the split view. So we'll go to the View tab here at the top. We're in Window. We'll click Split. Task 11 asks us to go ahead and merge and align the cells A2 to D2. So what we'll do is we'll select that range. We're on the Home tab in the Alignment group. We'll click the Merge and Center drop-down box. And we'll just select Merge Cells. After we do that, we'll go ahead and we're still in the Alignment group. We'll click Align Right. Task 12 asks us to go ahead and apply the heading 3 to the title Black Bread Books. So we're here on the Home tab in the Styles group, and all we just needed to do is select heading 3. Notice the change. Task 13 asks us to go ahead and create a new worksheet based upon the expense report sample template. So we'll click File here, And what we want to do is select New. And up here at the top, what we want to do is just type in Expense Report. And we'll search for that. And then we'll select this one right here. Click Create. Task 14 asks us to go ahead and change the theme of the current worksheet to Ion. So we'll go to Page Layout here at the top. On the Themes drop down here, we just want to select Ion. Task 15 asks us to just go ahead and add the title Average to column H. So we'll go ahead and select that cell and we'll begin typing. Hit Enter. Task 16 asks us to go ahead and create a formula in H4 that gets the average of the numbers in that row without actually using the average function. So we'll go ahead and we'll do equal sum, and you could use the function builder for this or do a number of other things. We'll go ahead and but just hand key this one in because it's simple. What we want to do is close out our argument by closing our parentheses, and then what we want to do is hit the division key on your keyboard and then hit 3, hit Enter. Task 17 asks us to go ahead and copy the formula found in H4 and copy it to H5 to H33. There are a few ways to do this. You could use the drag fill, but we'll just copy that formula. We'll select the range and we'll paste it. Task 18 asks us to go ahead and create the if formula. So what we want to do is put our cursor here in the first E4. We'll go ahead and use the insert function button and we'll type in if. And we'll select if. And what it wants us to do is to look to D4 for this one and see, is that greater than 2,500? And if it is, put a value of 1. And if it's false, it wants us to put a 0. We'll click OK. And we're not done here. What we need to do is copy this formula. And what I'm using is the drag fill. So with my black cursor across, I'll copy it all the way to E33. Task 19 asks us to go ahead and hide column A. So what we want to do is just select the column A. Notice how everything is selected when I tap the A. What we'll do is right click here and just click Hide. Task 20 asks us to go ahead and freeze the first column on the current worksheet. So what we want to do is go to the View tab here at the top and under the Window group, Freeze Panes, and we just want the top row here. Notice that when I scroll, that first one is always visible. Task 21 asks us to go ahead and apply a style to the Fusion Tomo in A1. So what we want to do is be on the Home tab, Styles group. We'll click the drop down here, and all we want to do is just select Title. Task 22 asks us to go ahead and apply the Ion theme. So what we want to do is at the top here, go to the page layout. We'll do in the Themes group, Themes drop down, click Ion. Task 23 asks us to go ahead and save this as a PDF to our GMetrix templates file, and then we do not want to open after publishing. If you miss that step, just make sure you close out of it. But what we want to do is click the File and click Save As. From here, you want to go ahead and map to your GMetrix folder. And in here, we want to select PDF here in the Save type. You could have also done this from the export. It's just however you choose. We do want to keep that name, Excel 05, and then this is not checked, so we'll go ahead and click Save. Task 24 asks us to stay on the annual sales worksheet, and what we want to do is sort our data A5 to A15. There are a few ways you can do this, but what we'll do is we'll select our data, the range that they gave us. We'll go to the Data tab, we'll click Sort, and if this isn't checked, you won't see here total, and it says largest to smallest. We'll click OK. Task 25 asks us to go ahead and in B18, so B18, make a reference to A7. So all we want to do is just hit the equal sign here and select or type A7. We'll click Enter. Task 26 asks us to go ahead and apply conditional formatting to columns E, F, and G. So go ahead and select those columns. At the top in the Home tab, you want to be in the Styles group. We'll select conditional formatting. highlight cells, and then it tells us that it needs to be equal to 5 over here. So we'll select equal to. We'll change that 3 to a 5. And then with custom format, because we want to apply a yellow fill here. This is the standard yellow fill. Click OK and OK. Task 27 asks us to go ahead and filter the data so that only people with the position of developer are displayed. So what we want to do is actually just apply a filter. And so we'll select that range, or you can just highlight the row. We want to go to the Insert tab here at the top. My apologies, we want to go to the Data tab. And in the Sort and Filter, we want to select Filter. Notice it went ahead and it gave us these drop-down boxes. And then under Position, we want to do unselect all. You could type in here, but what we want is this developer checked, and only those people are displayed. It tells us to go ahead and insert a spark line in G6 of this tab, the annual sales. So we'll click in that cell, we'll click Insert, we'll click, it's going to be a spark line, and it says column. And what we want to do is reference B6 to E6. Make sure not to select the totals. Click OK. Task 29 asks us to go ahead and delete all the comments in the current worksheet. The comments, you can tell that they're there based upon the little red triangle in the right hand corner of a cell. What we want to do is, there are a few ways to do this, but what we could do is we can click Next here in the comments. We can also click Show All to see them all, but we'll click Next, and what we just want to do is just click Next, Delete, and there's no more left. Task 30 asks us to go ahead and create a formula in B34. So we'll scroll down to B34, and you could do equals sum, you could do function builder. We'll just go ahead and auto sum here. Click Enter. And what we want to do is then copy this over to the other two columns. So we'll use our drag fill. Task 31 asks us to go to the totals worksheet. And what we want to do is put the totals here from the previous tab. So what we'll do is we'll select equals. We'll go back to our June tab. And then fiction is what we want, the totals for fiction. So we'll click that. And then here, notice it references the June sheet B34. What you want to do is hit Enter before you click anywhere else to set that formula. Now we'll go ahead and go to nonfiction. If you would not have clicked Enter, and you would have gone back to the totals, it would have changed your reference to say totals instead of June. So we want nonfiction, so we'll select this, totals. And we'll do this one more time for reference. June, Enter. Task 32 asks us to go ahead and change this chart right here from the column to a 3D pie. So what we want to do is go to the Design tab here at the top, and what we want to do is change chart type. You won't get that tab if you don't select the chart first. And we'll select pie, and we'll look for the 3D pie, which is this one. We'll click OK. Task 33 asks us to go ahead and insert the GIF image. So we'll click Insert here at the top, and what we want to do is select Pictures. We then want to go to our GMetrix folder. We'll select our image. Task 34 asks us to go ahead and add a dark blue border to the image. So we'll select the image. We'll go to the Format tab here at the top. And what we want to do is Picture Border, and it says dark blue. Hover if you're not sure. Task 35 asks us to go ahead and change our theme to Office. So we want to go to the Page Layout tab here at the top, and we'll click the Themes drop down here, and we just want to select Office. Task 36 asks us to go to the Source Data worksheet. So we'll go ahead and click that. And what it wants us to do is to find and select, and look, what we're looking for is a data validation. So we're on the Home Editing group. We'll click this drop down here, click Data Validation. And notice it went ahead and it put our cursor there for us. And what we want to do is, we're still in the editing group here. I just want to click Clear All. Task 37 asks us to go to the Source Data worksheet. And what we want to do is unhide a few rows. If you look here, you can tell that 15 through 20 is hidden. There are a few ways to do this. I would probably just right click and click unhide, but you can also do it from the format hide unhide and then unhide rows. Task 38 asks us to go ahead and make the grid lines visible, so we'll go to the View tab here at the top, and what we want to do is just in the Show group click Grid Lines. Task 39 asks us to go ahead and change the margins to narrow, so we're on the Page Layout tab here at the top, Page Setup, Margins drop down, and just click Narrow. Task 40 asks us to go ahead and use the COUNTIF function in B17, so we'll go ahead and put our cursor here. We'll do COUNTIF. Our range is B6 to B15, and our criteria is, does it exceed 5,000? We'll click OK. Task 41 asks us to go ahead and insert the basic process Smart Art. So what we want to do is go to the Insert tab here at the top. We want to click in the Illustrations group, click Smart Art. It's a process. It's in the title. And we want the basic process. If you're not sure, make sure you hover so that you select the correct one. We'll click OK. And then we'll just click and drag this over. Task 42 asks us to go ahead and insert a spark line in F33. And so we'll go to the Insert tab here at the top after we select that cell. And it's a line, spark line. And our range is B33 to E33. We'll click OK. Task 43 asks us to go ahead and use the fill to copy our spark line. That's found in F33. And there are a few ways to do this. The easiest way is to select the range or the cell. And with the black cursor, just click and drag up to B8.
Task 44 asks us to go ahead and apply a gradient fill to column E. So what we want to do is go ahead and highlight column E here. We're on the Home tab and we're in the Styles group. What we want to do is click the Conditional Formatting drop down. We want data bars, and then it says it's a gradient fill, so we'll select from this group, and it says green data bar.
Task 45 asks us to go ahead and unmerge row 2, so we'll go ahead and select this. You could just click that row, but and all we want to do is just click in the alignment group here on the Home tab, just click that button, and notice that those are all individual cells now. Task 46 asks us to go ahead and format A3 to G34. What we're going to do is apply the light to table style. So it's this one. If you're not sure, make sure you hover. Right here, it's just verifying the range that we already selected, so we'll click OK. Task 47 asks us to go ahead and insert a 2D clustered column chart based upon our range A5 to E15. So we'll select that range. We'll go ahead and click Insert, and we'll do the 2D clustered column. And it wants us to put this below our table. Task 48 asks us to go ahead and change this chart title here to say Annual Sales. Make sure you capitalize both Annual Sales, and then you want to click out of that title so it sets. Task 49 asks us to go ahead and name a range. So we'll select B4 to B33, and there are a few ways to do this, but the easiest way after you select your range is just to go ahead and click here in the name box and type in Fiction 12. And make sure you hit enter to set that name.
Task 50 wants us to go ahead and use a named range in a formula on the Totals tab. So here in B2, we're going to go ahead and put our cursor. We're going to go ahead and start typing equals sum. And what we want to do is start typing in fiction. We'll go ahead and select that named range. Go ahead and close our parentheses. We'll hit enter.
Task 51 asks us to go ahead and in the source data worksheet, so we'll go ahead and select that. It wants us to sort our data alphabetically, customer ID, and then by product. So we'll go ahead and put our cursor in A1 and select our entire range. Then we'll go to the data tab here at the top, click sort. We want to make sure my data has headers so that we can see customer ID alphabetically. We'll add a level, and then by product. click OK. Task 52 asks us to go ahead and on the Source Data tab, make sure that the header here in row 1 repeats. So what we want to do is go to the Page Layout tab here at the top, and what we'll do is we'll do Page Setup, this dialog box. What we want to do is go to Sheet here at the top, and rows to repeat at header, we'll click here. We'll just select row 1. Click this so it drops back down. We'll click OK. Task 53 asks us to go ahead and on the June worksheet, it wants us to in E34 do the average. So you could do the function, you could do the auto sum average, or you can just type in equals average and select our range or type it in. Task 54 asks us to go ahead and filter our data so that the fiction column only displays what's above average. So what we want to do is select our row here, and we want to go to the Data tab here at the top, click Filter. If you do not have row 3 selected, it will not filter correctly. We want to click the drop-down box here next to Filter, next to Fiction, and we want to go to Number Filters here, and we'll select Above Average. Task 55 wants us to create a hyperlink in B12, so we'll go ahead and select B12, and we're going to hyperlink to another file. So we clicked Insert at the top, we want to click Hyperlink. We're in existing file, our web page, current folder, and then you might need to remap it, but it says GMetrix for me, so I'll go ahead and just double click here. Task 56 asks us to go ahead and change the view to page layout, so we'll click View here at the top, and we'll click Page Layout. Task 57 asks us to go ahead and add a comment to D6. So we'll go ahead and select cell D6. We want to go to the Review tab here at the top, click New Comment, and in this we'll go ahead and type in good rate. And what you want to make sure you do is select outside, click outside of that so that it sets the text. Task 58 asks us to go ahead and change our margins to narrow. So we'll go to Page Layout here at the top, Page Setup, Margins, and we'll select narrow. Task 59 asks us to just go ahead and copy cells A7 to F7. So we'll do Control C, but you could also use the copy button here at the top. What we want to do is paste it in A19. We just hit Control V. Notice it went ahead and pasted that for us. Task 60 asks us to go ahead and on the quarterly sales in B9, we're going to go ahead and enter a formula that multiplies a bunch of different things and adds it together. So first thing we need to do is do the equal sign, and what we want to do is select F16 over here on the Annual tab. Notice I went ahead and put all that information in for us. What we want to do is you want to make sure you do the Shift 8 now so it sets that reference to F19. Multiplied by 1, and then what we want to do is do plus, and we'll go back and select B3. Click Enter. Task 61 asks us to go ahead and inspect our document, and so we'll go ahead and click the File. We're going to click Check for Issues. We'll click Inspect Document. Click Yes. And we're going to inspect the document for hidden information, personal information such as the author. So we'll go ahead and click Inspect. And what we want to do is click Remove All.